Welcome to Housing After 60. I am Charles Odell. On this site, we analyze the math and the reality of senior housing to find your best options. Let's get started.
Welcome to another deep dive from Housing After 60. Today we are looking at the 10-year housing audit based on our latest research at housingafter60.com. And really, we're digging into a tough question. Is your home, the place you love, secretly becoming a debt trap? This quote from Charles Odell just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Your home is not a memory box. Look, we get it. It's full of priceless memories. But for this discussion, we have to set that aside for a minute and look at what it also is: a high-maintenance machine and a massive line item on your balance sheet. And that emotional pull is so strong, right? It's where the kids grew up, where you had all those family gatherings. But here's the tough love question we have to ask. Is that nostalgia accidentally bankrupting your retirement? It's a very personal decision, but we believe data can help clear the fog. Okay, let's get into our first big idea: the financial physics of homeownership. And here's the thing. Aging gracefully just doesn't apply to houses. You know, a house isn't like a fine wine that gets better with age. It's more like a car. It's a collection of parts that are all wearing out, sitting on a piece of land that is hopefully going up in value. But those parts, they fail in really predictable and really expensive cycles. And that leads directly to this critical concept we call cluster failure. Just think about it. The roof, the HVAC system, the water heater, they were probably all installed around the same time. And now, they're all getting ready to retire at the same time. If your home is 20, 30 years old, you are sitting right in the middle of this high-risk window. It's not a question of if these things will fail, it's a question of when, and if they'll fail all at once. So what does that actually look like in real dollars? Well, let's just start at the top with the roof. The average projected cost to replace a roof in 2026? About $25,000. That is a huge bill. And believe me, that's just the opening act. Exactly. Because right after that, you've got the HVAC, the system that keeps you from melting in the summer and freezing in the winter. To get a new, high-efficiency system, you're looking at another $22,000. And that bill could easily show up in the very same year as the roof. And let's not forget the plumbing. If you have an older house, you could be facing a full repipe job. And that's another 15 grand, easy. So you add it all up, roof, HVAC, plumbing. We are talking about a potential surprise bill of over $60,000 hitting you all at once. Ouch. And this is why that old 1% maintenance rule you've always heard about is it's broken. It's dangerously outdated. For any home over 30 years old, it's a 2% reality now. These are what we call shadow expenses on the website. They're just quietly, constantly bleeding away the equity that you spent a lifetime building up. Right. And it's not just the repair bills. There's a whole other financial angle to this: taxes. Your home has been a fantastic tax-advantaged vehicle, no doubt. But it has a ceiling. That $500,000 capital gains exclusion for married couples is amazing, but if your gains blow past that number, you're walking right into what we call a tax trap. Let's make this super clear with a quick example. Imagine your total gain on your home is $800,000. If you sell now, scenario B, you pocket that first $500,000 completely tax-free. You deal with the tax on the remaining $300 grand, and you move on. But if you stay, that taxable portion of your gain just keeps growing and growing, creating a much bigger tax headache for you down the road. All right, so we've talked about the financial drain. Now let's pivot and talk about the physical risks. We're going to run your home through what we call the universal design test, because the real question is, can your house support the person you're going to be in 5 or 10 years? Just look at the difference here. A typical home from the 80s or 90s has narrow 30-inch doorways, sunken living rooms, and, of course, the master bedroom is always upstairs. Now, contrast that with a universal design home. Wide hallways, zero-entry showers, main floor living. So here's the question you have to ask yourself, and be honest. Could you get a walker, let alone a wheelchair, through your house right now? And please, don't think for a second this is a cosmetic fix. This isn't like picking out new paint colors. To widen just one doorway that's on a load-bearing wall, that can cost over $7,500. We're talking major structural work. Now, imagine doing that for every important doorway in your home. The cost becomes absolutely staggering. So We've thrown a lot at you. Huge repair bills, tax traps, accessibility nightmares. It's completely overwhelming. So how do you make a clear-headed decision? Well, this is where we run the 10-year audit. Think of it as a simple, logical gauntlet designed to take the emotion out of the equation and just give you the cold, hard data. Okay, here it is. This is the actionable checklist. Let's just run through it. Number 1, are your major systems over 15 years old? If yes, the data says move. 2, is the primary bedroom on the second floor? If yes, move. 3, are your interior doors too narrow? 4, have your property taxes jumped more than 20%? 5, has your insurance premium skyrocketed? 6, are you more than 20 minutes from a major hospital? Look, if you're checking yes on more than 3 of these, the logic is really pointing in one clear direction. By the way, you can find a full breakdown of this on housingafter60.com. So now we get to the most important part of this whole discussion. It's about a mindset shift. You have to stop thinking of this as just a lifestyle decision and start thinking like the CEO of your retirement, because that's what this is, a major capital allocation decision. And this says it all, doesn't it? You are the CEO of your retirement. Think about it. Would a CEO keep a money-losing, high-cost factory open just because they liked the view from the office? No way! They would sell that underperforming asset and redeploy the capital somewhere that actually makes money. In this scenario, your house is that factory. And the numbers on this are just massive when you look at the 10-year opportunity cost. Look at this chart. Staying put could easily drain $100,000 in maintenance, but right-sizing and investing that equity could gain you $140,000. That is a $240,000 swing in your net worth over the next decade. The full technical breakdown for this is in the post at housingafter60.com if you want to see all the math. You know, we hear this all the time. Oh, but I'm keeping the big house for the kids. We need to be really direct here. Your children probably don't want your 4,000 square foot liability. They really don't. What they want is for you to be financially independent and secure. The greatest gift you can give them is not having to worry about you. This is about your freedom. So we're going to leave you with this one last thought, and it's a really powerful one. A home is supposed to be your sanctuary, your source of comfort, not your prison. Do not let your house become your cage. Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head over to housingafter60.com. Don't forget to check the links in the description below.
Your peace and enjoyment in retirement depends on the right housing strategy. Visit housingafter60.com for our full analysis and cost transparency guides. I will see you in the next video.